Welcome to Nac Edition. I'm Julia Davis. Nac Edition is a program that is student-produced right here on the campus of Stephen F. Austin State University. On this program, we take a look at what's happening around the campus and around our community. So sit back, relax, and get ready for this week's Nac Edition.
The college experience and the pressures that go with it can be summed up in a number of ways. But for one SFA senior, the battle in and out of the classroom has proved to be the most courageous fight of his life. We go to Andrew Collins for the story.
Marine Corporal Marcus Payton has put his education on the back burner not once, but twice in order to serve and protect our country and its freedoms. From November 2007 to May of 2008, Payton served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. He returned from overseas to the classroom, if only for a short time. In February of 2011, Payton was deployed to Afghanistan for his second tour. He returned safely to the States, having officially completed a 6.5-year contract with the United States Marines. SFA TV2 spoke with Corporal Payton about what the transition has been like from the battlefield to the classroom.
It's been a little difficult. Like, you go from an organization that tells you what to do all the time, and you do it on their time. Now you have your own things to do. You have your own time schedule, and you're just not used to it.
With the stress of everyday combat behind him, Payton is able to sit back and enjoy the little things that civilian life has to offer.
Well, when I'm not buried in the books, I play rugby for the team here at Stephen F. Austin. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Order fraternity, hang out with my fraternity brothers. The rec center's nice. I love going over there and just working out. Or I'm studying kinesiology with a minor in geology. They don't mix, but heck, I like them, so it keeps me in class. When I get out, I really don't know what I'm going to do. I might go back into the service. I mean, I was good at what I did, and I liked it, so we'll see what happens when that time comes.
Payton was recently notified that he would be receiving 2 commendation medals for operations supporting Marine Expeditionary Forces in Iraq in 2007. The triumphs of sacrifice on the battlefield will soon accompany those in the classroom when he earns his diploma next spring. You can learn more about Corporal Payton's story in an upcoming press release from the SFA Office of Public Affairs. Reporting for Nac Edition, I'm Andrew Collins.
The student population at SFA makes up a lot of the community in Nacogdoches. Breaks and holidays where the students migrate back to their homes largely affects businesses' ability to keep a steady revenue flowing. Brittany Williams has taken a deeper look at this in the next story.
Businesses in Nacogdoches rely heavily on the student population at SFA, so this leaves the question of how businesses stay afloat when the students leave for breaks. Bianca Bradley, a Sonic employee, tells us about what it's like for Sonic during this time.
Whenever the break comes, there's actually nobody who really comes to Sonic, and especially during happy hour, it's real dead. But during the semester, when the students are actually here, we get a lot of business. We really don't depend on the NAC community because majority of our business come from the students.
While SFA students keep Nacogdoches streets busy, Marble Slab hires employees based off of who will be here during the break.
Normally, before we hire, we just see if they're a person that is going to be living in the dorm or if there's someone that's going to have their own apartment. And based on that, that's kind of a factor in if you're going to get hired or not.
All these businesses around Nacogdoches say the same thing. The students are a big part of their business and they need them to make a big portion of their profit. When students are gone, these businesses feel a little lost in sales, commission profits, and sometimes hours. These establishments plan far in advance to make sure the shifts will be covered for the upcoming break.
Before the holidays, we just make sure that we're going to have enough people to stay over the break. We normally need about 3 people, and we just make sure we have people for the evening and morning shifts.
As you can see, some businesses can't withstand the vast absence of students, so they have to close down. But as we know, when one closes, another one opens. Reporting for Nac Edition, I'm Brittany Williams. For students and community members looking for a new place of relaxation, Lake Naconich Park is scheduled to open in the upcoming months. A peaceful, serene, and secluded lake park, Lake Naconich is the perfect outing for a summer day here. Here's Corbin Pate with more.
One of Nacogdoches' best kept secrets is Lake Naconich.
A lake park almost 50 years in the making.
The idea behind the 700-acre lake dates back to the mid-1960s when Lake Nac Edition was cited as one of 23 reservoirs to be constructed in a flood control project launched by the Soil Conservation Service.
It was originally there was 23 watershed lakes designed for Nacogdoches, Shelby, and Rusk County. This being number 23A. It's to control floods. But this got taken on with the Corps of Engineers as a more than just a watershed lake. It was taken on as a recreational and watershed lake.
During construction, archaeologists found the remains of 7 Caddo Indians, along with Caddo artifacts like arrowheads and pottery.
Most of it was a Caddo Indian tribe, and we dug up these arrows and pottery of the different areas that the Indians inhabited this land.
The lake will feature scuba diving, fishing piers, and a 40-acre park, as well as swimming areas for visitors. Lake Nac Edition Park is located about 15 miles north of Nacogdoches off of Highway 59 North. Commissioner Williamson said the county has set the official opening date for the park as September 1st, but if possible, they will open the park for recreation soon. Reporting for Nac Edition, I'm Corbin Pate.
It's springtime in Nacogdoches, and that means that the Ruby M. Mize Azalea Garden is blooming strong. For more on that, here is Lance Drake.
Nacogdoches is home to the largest azalea garden in the state. The Ruby M. Mize Azalea Garden is located along University Drive behind the Coliseum. We spoke with Research Associate for Development Barbara Stump about the garden's background.
The azalea trail started about 2001 when we finally started to see that we had a garden going, and it was an effort to kind of focus on this special feature in Nacogdoches, but also to show case the azaleas in people's yards, and there are quite a few azaleas throughout town, 22 miles of trails.
Both the young and the old come out to the garden to jog, walk, go for a bike ride, listen to the birds, enjoy the flowers, among many other things.
All kinds, students trying to get rid of a little bit of stress maybe. We have visitors from local as well as far away.
The Ruby M. Mize Azalea Garden works closely with the Nacogdoches Azalea Trail every year.
We coordinate with the city on that, and actually the Azalea Garden serves as kind of the hub from which the Azalea Trail was developed. And, we're still working with the city and the Convention and Visitors Bureau to enhance Nacogdoches' reputation as an azalea trail.
To learn more about the Ruby M. Mize Azalea Garden, you can visit SFA Garden at sfasu.edu. Or to learn more about the Azalea Trail, check out visitnacogdoches.org. Reporting for Nac Edition, this is Lance Drake.
Reporter Benjamin Jones recently covered the water contingency plan enacted by the city and the effects it has on the citizens here in Nacogdoches.
According to city officials, since April of last year, the city of Nacogdoches has been in a drought state. Therefore, the city is doing what it can to conserve water. This is having some effects on the citizens in Nacogdoches. Local residents are urged by the city to limit their water usage for essential purposes only. Resident Brittany Williams says it's caused her to change her daily routine.
The drought has kept me from washing my car when I need to, watering my flowers. Well, it really hasn't kept me from watering them, but the restrictions here on this street, I don't know about any other street, but the even numbers can only wash their cars or water their lawns on Tuesdays and Sundays, and the odds can only do it on Mondays or Fridays, so it's kind of, you have to schedule around it or whatever.
Currently, Nacogdoches is in a Stage 1 conservation effort, which entails voluntary conservation. City officials, however, predict a rise to Stage 2 conservation this summer. Stage 2 conservation does carry a higher financial impact for residents such as Brittany.
Financially, the drought, it seems like financially it's helping us because it really hasn't been that expensive. But last month we kind of went over a little bit with water, so it was a little higher. But this month, since I guess the public really knows about the drought, we kind of do what we can, and it was a little lesser.
Reporting for Nac Edition, Benjamin Jones.
Juvenile crime is on the rise in Nacogdoches. Reporter Brianna Garlow uncovers what the Nacogdoches County Law Enforcement is doing to help youth stay out of crimes.
The crime rate for juveniles in Nacogdoches has been moderate over the years, but according to the 2012 city ratings, that number is increasing. The three main neighborhoods that are affected are City Center, Bonita Junction, and Fredonia Hill. Everett Dilley explains what he's doing to keep out of this environment.
I think staying out of that environment keeps me, on track to be able to go to college and do things that, I want to do rather than spend all my money and, all my time on trying to be a drug dealer or trying to get them drugs or, stuff like that.
Probation Officer Angie Key explains what their office does to help troubled teens in the Nacogdoches community.
I've been a probation officer here in Nacogdoches County for almost 9 years. Ages range from age 10 to 17 is usually the cutoff, but we keep them to 18 years old. And we can get anything from assault, family violence, to theft. Right now we have a rise of drug cases, anywhere from misdemeanor drugs to felony drugs, on up to burglaries. We have a lot of engaging, which is gang activity. What we do is we offer services for them. We are supervising these kids. We're basically another set of eyes on these kids to try to keep them out of trouble. There's several resources out in the community that we try to utilize. For one is try to keep these kids in school. There's so many kids that come through our office that are not even enrolled in school. Another thing that we do is, a lot of kids have counseling. They need counseling or mentors because they're definitely lacking that in the home environment. Just the supervision, just to let them know, hey, there's someone there that actually care about you. Kids think it's a punishment a lot of times, but most kids respect it for the most part.
Reporting live from Nac Edition, I'm Brianna Garlow.
Welcome back to Nac Edition. I'm Cody Booth. In this segment, we'll be discussing several topics of the interest to students here at SFA and things going on in the Nacogdoches community. With me is Ariel, Veda, and Andrew. So we have heard about the George Zimmerman case. For those who haven't heard about it, George Zimmerman shot Trayvon Martin, who was unarmed at the time in Florida. And it's been a big racial issue. And there's this new poll that came out saying that 73% said he should be arrested, and 11% disagree, and 16% are unsure. So what do you guys think about what's going on in Florida right now?
Well, I definitely think that there should have been some action taken against Zimmerman. I mean, you shoot someone, you should be apprehended or taken to jail, something. From what I know, he was put in the police car. He told his side of the story, and he was let go immediately after. And I honestly don't think that the Justice Department in Florida handled that the right way at all.
Right. To say the least. I mean, obviously he was, apprehended. When the police and law enforcement originally arrived on the scene. I think the biggest surprise right now. To everybody, that no formal charges have been filed against them. I think the polls are right. I think we'll eventually see those charges be filed against them as more details come out. Obviously, this has gained international recognition. President Obama's made his statements about it. It's pretty much dominated social media on just about every aspect. So I think the more that details come out, you'll start learning more details about this Zimmerman character. Things are starting to unfold, with the chief of police stepping down or being removed from the case. I think a lot more will unfold, and I think he'll eventually be brought to justice.
But another thing is, you say that attention is being brought to it, but no attention would have even been brought to this case had it not been a racial issue. Like, it took the NAACP and them getting to the getting to the federal courts to even get any notice that Zimmerman, in this case at all, to even been brought back up. This happened like a month or two ago.
Yeah. So Ariel, what do you think about it?
I think everybody deserves to get some answers here. I mean, you have a 17-year-old kid walking around with Skittles and a Nestea in his hand and he gets shot. And there's no, I mean, the case, there's nobody's doing anything about the case. Police aren't getting active with it until people are actually speaking out on it. If nobody would have spoken out on this, what would have happened?
Yeah, I mean, it's really pretty much, I mean, it's pretty much what seems like it's, he's guilty, period, but everybody's saying, he's, I mean, it's just there's, what they're saying is the stand your ground law, which is in Florida, but to me, the kid was unarmed, he had the gun, I mean, it should be, case closed, period.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds real simple. I mean, a few dollars worth of convenience store goods, some Skittles and a tea. I mean, to me, I don't think anybody's charging at me to where, I'm acting in self-defense. I think the facts are pretty clear, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with this.
Yeah, so let's continue on. Of course, here on SFA, Greek Week is upon us. So, and one of the things I want to talk about is the pros and cons in being in Greek life. Andrew, I know you're part of a fraternity.
Yeah, I am a member of Kappa Alpha Order fraternity. I haven't really affiliated recently, just for personal issues and things like that. But the pros and cons of going Greek, they go hand in hand with the stereotypes and everything. And with Greek Week last week, I think that's a positive thing for us, because not only are we out there, I mean, it's a competition amongst chapters throughout the campus, but at the same time we're doing a lot of service projects, and that's one thing that we pride ourselves on throughout the year. Everybody's got their national philanthropic organization. Ours, for example, is MDA. So you're actually doing a lot of positive things. You give back to the community. You're held to a GPA standard. You got to fulfill those things in order to be a member. I just think people really don't get a fair shot that are in Greek Week, and that those stereotypes, really cast a dark shadow on you, especially, in the microscope that you're put under on this campus. So.
All right. I mean, what do you guys think about, how Greeks are stereotyped?
I mean, I've heard all the stereotypes. I mean, you hear they drink, they like to party.
But there's also, there's an article written in the latest edition of the Pine Log where the writer, actually mentioned that she originally wouldn't have ever considered herself to, be motivated to join a Greek organization, and that she never thought she would ever do it. And once that she did, she said it's probably been one of the better decisions. And she does her best to, put all the stereotypes and the rumors to rest about what goes on. And she's actually taken a little bit of her time into this article and actually pointed out a lot of the positives that Greek life has to offer.
All right. Okay. So, I mean, what do you guys think about, I mean, us not being in Greeks, what do you think about Greek Week and how it's, helped bring SFA to life?
I think they should try and publicize it more. I mean, though you do hear all the bad stuff they do, if they do a lot of charity and have their own philanthropy, but you don't hear about it enough. I think if they made more emphasis on it, and let the SFA community or Nacogdoches know what they were trying to do, people would put them in a better light and be more interested.
Right, because I know in the Pine Log, most of the stories over Greek Week were talking about helping the community and everything like that, but that's the first time I hear about fraternities and sororities really helping the community. I know that they help, but I guess if you didn't want that more stereotypical view on them, they could show how much they help more than just during Greek Week.
Well, it's interesting, you can take a flip side approach to that, because, you mentioned they may not broadcast, enough or put it out there enough about how much community service work they actually do. But if you actually look into it and do more on your own for community service, 9 times out of 10 are, the majority, the Presidential Service Award that's offered on campus for just about any student or any organization, it's Greeks usually doing the most and putting out their part. So it's fair opportunity.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for this discussion. I would like to thank all of our panelists. Join us here next week for another lively discussion about what's happening in our community and across the nation.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's Nac Edition. Again, you can see any of the stories featured here online at our YouTube channel, Jack TV SFA, or follow us on Twitter at Nac_Edition. If you would like to learn more about our programs or department at SFA, visit the web address at the bottom of the screen. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Nac Edition.